Let's get this rolling. Good afternoon, Los Santos. Dan Dorfman here with Weazel News, the news you need to hear when you need to hear it. And we're sitting here in our studio with the fine members of SecuroServe, Ms. Freddie Price, Mr. Jeffrey Connors, and Mike Lemonade. We wanted to catch up with you, and thank you very much, Fanny and Jeffrey, Mike, for coming to the studio and talking to us about recent events. We wanted to.
Thank you for having us.
We wanted to talk to you a little bit. First of all, how's Freddie doing? We understand he's still in the hospital over there at Crusade.
That's right, Dan Dorfman. He's still in the ICU, facing multiple surgeries. Unfortunately, at this time, we wouldn't be able to tell you how he is.
Well, that's fair enough. I know that we just got done doing an interview up at the Hill Valley Church up there in Vinewood with Father Matthias, the priest that presided over your wedding. And he was telling us about a candlelight vigil that they're going to be holding special tonight for prayers for your husband and his recovery. And I know the citizens of Los Santos wish Freddie Price well, and that he's able to speed through the recovering from the injuries that he sustained.
Thank you. It definitely does mean the world to us.
Now, could you give us a little perspective as to what occurred on that faithful day a couple of days ago outside of Mission Row? We've been trying to figure out exactly what happened, what the timeline was, and can you give us your perspective, Fanny? What did you see?
Oh, but of course. No, it was just like any other day at work. Freddie Price, though, however, he mentioned he had a private meeting. So Jeffrey and we attended to other business, other meetings. We were actually on Mission Row. We were helping Maxine in regards to another case. She had been shot and robbed earlier that day.
Now, let me stop you right there. Was that
and we find that Freddie
was the issue with Miss Maxine Devereaux? I assume that's who you're talking about. Now, was this
Yes.
an incident regarding the paper bag? What we're terming the unknown robber. Person that wears a paper bag over his head with the eyes cut out, and he may or may not be wearing pants.
I do believe that is
all
the
right.
one.
Oh, okay. Please continue. Sorry.
No problem. So, Freddie Price shows up, and I don't know, there was just madness in his eyes, Dan Dorfman. Looking at the Freddie, we didn't know. Next thing you know, he punches poor Jeffrey here. And he pulls out his gun and he just starts shooting.
And Mr. Connors,
It was utter madness, Dan Dorfman.
I can imagine the shock that you must have been through seeing this type of behavior from Mr. Price. Could you tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind as you were speaking with him?
Yeah, of course, Mr.
Oh,
Dorfman.
we were trying to stop him.
I'm sorry, Gwenny. Go ahead.
No, Jeffrey, please.
Well, it was a little shocking to me, to be honest with you. The things that were being spouted off. He didn't necessarily say anything that he didn't really allude to what he was going to do. However, once my nose was bashed in, and I was down on the ground, I realized this was not the same man that I had followed. I can't say that I would ever considered Freddie Price to be that sort of way with what happened at the PD there, but I do remember vaguely him standing over me as I lay on the ground, holding my nose broken, blistered, bloody. Him saying that he was protecting his boyo. before the whole thing went down. Mr. Price was a shit. He was a good man. He really was, Mr. Dorfman. I'm not too sure what led him to this point. I really can't say. I do know that he was with the Parsons Clinic beforehand, but I'm truly heartbroken.
Well,
I really am. No matter what happens to Freddy, I'm heartbroken as to what has transpired.
Oh, we appreciate you. I know this is not an easy thing to talk about here, but I hope that this gives you guys a little bit of pathway forward, in the healing process. Now, as you mentioned, Mr. Connors, you said that Mr. Price didn't seem to be of his own kind of mind, or that he was behaving a little differently. Now, you said, do you know why he was up at the Parsons Clinic?
At this point in time, we have no idea when Mr. Price was at the Parsons Clinic. We know that he actually, before he went to Parsons Clinic, he seemed absolutely fine. He actually told members of SecuroServe that he was heading to a private meeting to try and better himself.
How you doing there, BPZ Gaming? Good to see you.
Before this whole thing went down. We're not sure what went on during the Parsons Clinic meeting, what sort of things were said, but it was after the clinic meeting that Mr. Price enacted this sort of vengeance, so to speak.
Is there anything that when he came and met you guys over at the over at Mission Row, Fanny? I mean, you probably know, between you and Jeffrey, you both know him very, very well. What would you characterize his demeanor when you first saw him as he walked up towards Mission Row, meeting you guys over there as you were doing your own investigation into the unknown robber?
Well, just looking in his eyes, I knew there was something up. Just the way he carried himself. The vibes that surrounded him. Definitely didn't feel like we were looking at Freddy.
Now,
It definitely wasn't looking at the man I married. Tell you that much.
did he say anything to you when he walked up on you talking with Miss Maxine, or was there anything that going on there that would have changed his demeanor or caused him to or do you think it was something before that?
Not that I can recall, Dorfman. Everything just happened so fast. He was so quick to punch Jeffrey, and the next thing I know, the cops start coming at us, and he just opened fired, as they did on us. As a matter of fact, I was shot myself.
That's what I understand.
Unfortunately,
That the police, as the rounds were fired, and there were quite a bit of rounds fired. We couldn't get the exact number yet from the police because it's all under a current and active investigation. But we understand that you were struck by a bullet that they've confirmed came from the weapon of one Cadet Clark, I believe.
Ada fucking Clark.
That's
Now,
right.
now, Fanny, how are you recovering? You seem to be in pretty good shape. Are you you're recovering well from that wound? It must not have been life-threatening at all.
Well, I mean, it was still pretty bad, Dan Dorfman. But regardless, I'm more determined than anything to get justice.
And I'm sure that that's going to happen. I mean, they already have started an internal investigation. The director, Andrews, has assured me that Cadet Clark is now on administrative leave pending the result of the outcome of the investigation. But he explained to me as I asked him that every bullet that they fire, that they have to hold themselves to a higher standard and be accountable for every round that they sent, downrange in an incident.
And you know what, Dan? I wonder where that accountability comes to. To be honest with you, it took nonstop prying and pleading to get some sort of case against Cadet Ada Clark. And to be honest with you, I'm glad. I'm very, very glad that she's suspended. Poor Fanny here does not deserve what happened to her. She was trying to flee the scene, and as an innocent bystander trying to flee the scene, I really don't think that what happened to her was sound at all, Dan. And I'm very, very happy with the PD's decision to remove her from the line of duty for several days pending this investigation. What I will say is that here at SecuroServe, never, ever will we be shooting any unarmed people for any reason, any capacity, ever, no matter what. And I really wish that the PD would control themselves a little bit more.
Well, and I think I appreciate that comment, Mr. Connors. I think that's something that they're definitely. I know speaking with Director Andrews, he feels very strongly about this, and has assured me that they're going to get to the bottom of the investigation, and that the appropriate steps and policy actions will be enacted. Now, of course, you guys are also aware of the recent changes where the city council has taken an active role, more active role in the police department here, initially firing all of the members of the LSPD and the Blaine County Sheriff's Office and folding them into the San Andreas State Police, mainly for budgetary concerns. But also I think that there's been some organizational challenges. Have you guys observed in the few days since the incident any difference in demeanor or change in the police's activity out on the street when you've come in contact with them?
Well, I can take this if nobody else here wishes to.
Take it away.
Mike, do you guys wish to? All right.
Go ahead, big bro.
I've noticed that since the merger, the police themselves have seemed kind of down, and I know I'm not alone here, but they seem kind of defeated. The troopers, they hang on each other to deal with any sort of, honestly, something as simple as a goddamn traffic ticket. To be honest with you, a traffic ticket. What do you give a shit about? This entire PD is built on just fucking up the people who have made small mistakes in their life. People who don't deserve it, Dan.
Yep.
Small mistakes.
Well,
Did.
Well, I'm sure you can appreciate, Mr. Connors, and it's a good perspective to have. We certainly think that there's a split out there in the community regarding the use of force, but the police department itself, they have a right to be able to go home to their wives and such as they perform their duties in protecting and serving the citizens of Los Santos. Just like the fine members of SecuroServe do in your capacity to protect and serve. So, it's certainly, I think it's a very difficult job that one that a high degree of training and a good use of judgment must be taken on to really ensure that you are able to handle those types of situations and the pressure that policing the streets has to offer. Perhaps you could talk a little bit about SecuroServe's training and how you guys, train yourselves, prepare yourselves for the stress of dealing with, these street thugs and gang members.
Yeah, of course, Dan. Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. To be honest with you, SecuroServe has dealt with non-stop thuggery from the day he was born, practically. We deal with high-end thugs, low-end thugs, any sort of thugs that you can possibly think of. They come through our door. Whether or not you think that you're safe or not, with SecuroServe around, I want everyone to be aware that you are not safe. Because SecuroServe will absolutely, we will take you out. We will make sure that you wish that you were never goddamn born. SecuroServe is here to protect and serve. SecuroServe is here to make sure that any of your precious cargo or shipments are well taken care of.
That's right, Jeff.
We don't want your shipments or anything like that to be taken into the wrong hands. And we are here for you, 100%. And you can call 443-6555. SecuroServe. We're here for you when you've got no one else.
Now, thank you very much there, Jeffrey. Now, when we talk about taking people out and this type of rhetoric, you're not assuming the role of the police. I mean, you still respect that there is a role for the police, that they're empowered with the powers of arrest, as well as the power, when appropriate, to use lethal force. Now, that's not an assumed power that you're taking on here at SecuroServe, correct?
No, we would never go above and beyond our jurisdiction here. We're well aware that here at SecuroServe we protect and serve those who contact us to protect and serve them. We would never go against or above the PD, of course, in any capacity, Dan. Even though we believe that the PD maybe doesn't really have what it takes to handle a lot of these cases. We're law-abiding citizens, and we will continue to be so.
I think that's a really important thing for the citizens of Los Santos to hear, and feeling comfortable with SecuroServe as it turns the page from the incident that happened up there at Mission Row. Now, Ms. Price, where do you see SecuroServe heading? In the wake of this incident. The time that you've had to reflect upon all that has occurred, where would you like to see SecuroServe in the future?
Well, obviously, I'd still like to see SecuroServe out and about, and I know we're in good hands with Jeffrey here in charge.
Now, Mr. Lemonade, I want to get you in here on this. Now that, first of all, I want to give you an opportunity in case Mr. Price happens to be watching this particular interview. Do you have any words for Mr. Price that you want to express at this time?
Of course. Mr. Price, if, you're on your bed watching this interview on that little TV by your bed, I just want to let you know this scorpion will always be your pet, and I also left apples by your desk.
Oh, you left apples. Does Freddy have a particular affinity to apples, Mike?
He likes apples and strawberries. Yep.
And is there...
He likes to stay healthy. He likes his food. Yep.
That's good to hear. Now, you and I were discussing off camera about some of the criminal gangs, and just wanted to get your thoughts on, new gangs coming into town, because no doubt, as SecuroServe agents, you're going to be encountering these new interests. And is there anything that you have any comment that you would provide to these persons about how they treat the citizens of Los Santos?
Well, all I could say, if, they're harassing citizens, they're making our roads and cities not safe, SecuroServe will be there all the time.
Well, thank you very much. And Mr. Connors, one final question for you is, now the acting chief of SecuroServe, while Mr. Price is recovering, are you under any specific guidelines, or are you able to take the company in a direction that is wholly under your vision? And go ahead and answer that question, I think, first.
Well, there's absolutely no guidelines. As acting chief of SecuroServe, I'm able to take the company in whatever vision I see fit. Of course, if anyone is needing to ask any sort of question of me, feel free to contact me. My number is 443-6555. Feel free to contact me, and we can get to the bottom of it. But SecuroServe as a whole, we are here to protect. We're here to serve. And that's what we're here to do, Dan. That really is. That's what
I
we're here to
appreciate
do.
that, Mr. Connors. Now, is there anything that you would change that, having been underneath the leadership of Mr. Price for so long, is there anything that you would change with the opportunity to do so now in the way that SecuroServe operates?
What I can say with the change in the way SecuroServe operates is, I want our agents to be spread out a bit more. You can expect a faster response time from our agents than before. A lot of the times our agents would hang out together, and it might not be the quickest response time, but now for sure you will get the quickest response time from SecuroServe that you could possibly imagine. Way before PD, absolutely way before PD.
That's right, Jack.
PD. Is that right, Mike?
That's
And
right,
you
Jack.
certainly have the
police
Fuck
department.
the dictators.
you certainly have the manpower, and you got those sharp vehicles, and I imagine it's a good time to focus and being out there protecting your clients. And Miss Fanny, if you wouldn't mind me asking, there's been an uptick of Class 2 weapons here within the city. Class 2 weapons are, of course, illegal firearms such as automatic weapons, automatic pistols, Uzis. We're seeing a lot of these, penetrate into the marketplace in the black market. They seem to be going for a fairly low value out on the street, and it appears that this has added an additional amount of pressure on the things. And is SecuroServe doing anything as it relates to these Class 2 firearms? And what are your concerns as we see the intake of assaults happen in the city with illegal arms?
Yes, no, I'm completely baffled by where all these weaponry are coming from. But it would seem like the knots are very difficult to obtain. Even Theodore King himself, well, before he went completely mad, he shot down the PD himself with one of these illegal weaponry.
Well, maybe we should...
But it's absolute madness, Dan Dorfman, and hopefully it's put to a stop, wherever they're getting them from.
Oh, there you have it. So SecuroServe, I can imagine, has the same types of concerns. So we'll get into the Theodore King thing a little bit later, perhaps in a different interview. But I wanted to thank the fine members of SecuroServe for coming down here and being on the couch with us and answering some tough questions in a difficult time. Mr. Connors, any final thoughts from you?
Well, I just want to let people know that SecuroServe, you know, despite of what's happened, despite what the interaction with the police department has been, SecuroServe is here to help. Feel free to contact us anytime for any reason, no matter what. We're here to help the people. We really are. And, you know, it's people like Mike Lemon in here that make it all worth doing. A boyo just wanting a job, and I mean, look at him now. Hi to the
That's
camera,
right.
Mike.
Stinging dick haters left
All
and
right.
right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, Mike.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I think we're going to, that's going to be the end of the segment here. We're going to go throw it back to the studio. Stephen, back to you. And thanks to the members of SecuroServe.
Thank you for having us, Dan.
Hey,
All
Denny.
right, and cut. Yeah. You probably want to